Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm making spinach lasagna. So as you can see, I've chopped about 10 baby bella mushrooms and half of a large red onion. And then I've placed about 12 or 15 lasagna noodles in a pot of salted boiling water. So now we're going to get started with the sauteing of the onions and mushrooms. And with those chopped baby bella mushrooms, that gave me about, I would say, maybe 2 cups of mushrooms, and then about half to 1 cup of onion. And now I just placed some olive oil in the bottom of the pan, and we'll begin to saute for about 3-4 minutes. I found this recipe initially on the internet, just doing a general Google search. It had a pretty high star rating, so I decided to try it. So this is my second time trying this recipe. First time I did it to the letter of the recipe and liked it, but I decided I wanted to do a little bit more to it. So this is my own take on it with adding in this portion with the onions and the mushrooms. It came out pretty well. So now that the onions and mushrooms are now cooked, I'll go ahead and give a final stir and then put that to the side. Now to get started for the spinach, this is about a tablespoon and a half of butter, unsalted, and I chopped or roughly tore some spinach. The recipe calls for about 24 ounces of spinach, and this time I decided to add a little bit more. So I think I did between 30 to 40 ounces of spinach. I wanted quite a bit in this recipe. So I'm just adding in and then letting that cook down some, and then just continue to add in the rest of the spinach until everything was cooked all the way down. And as that was cooking, I decided to add in my salt, my pepper, and my garlic powder, and then decided to give that a little mix to finish the continuum of the cooking. And then once that is cooked down, you have to allow it to cool. And then once it's officially cooled down, then you'll drain the water. I use the cheesecloth, but you can use a clean dish towel or paper towel, however you decide to drain the water out. But you definitely got to get that out. That's very important. Okay, so now we're going to complete the filling. So we have our drained spinach. I'm adding in about 15 to 20 ounces of ricotta cheese. The recipe itself calls for 15 ounces, but I had actually a 30-ounce container, so I think I did about half of that and then maybe did another couple spoons after that. So about 20 ounces of ricotta cheese, but definitely what I would recommend is trying the recipe as it's listed first. See if that's to your liking, and then if you want to do that again, then make your own needed changes after. Adding in 2 eggs per recipe. And then the optional mushrooms and onions. And this is pre-shredded mozzarella. Now you can definitely shred your fresh mozzarella, but I just did not feel like it, so I didn't. And then this is about half a cup or three-fourths cup of grated Parmesan, and then just added in seasonings. So I believe this was just the pepper, and I believe I did. Okay, this is onion powder. And a little bit of garlic powder. And I don't measure my seasonings. I just add it to cover everything I see pretty much. And some Italian seasoning. That's part of the recipe too. And I love Italian seasoning, so I added a little bit extra. And then you just combine. And then once combined, then you're now ready to assemble your lasagna in the pan. What I didn't mention is that once you take out your noodles and having them to cook to get ready to arrange, I did lay them in a pan with wax paper and separated the layers so they wouldn't stick. So that was definitely helpful. So I have prepared a 9 by 13 casserole dish with cooking spray on the bottom. I think I did the bottom only. And then adding in marinara, just a little bit of marinara, and then spreading that out into a thin layer. And then starting to add the noodles, and I believe that this will only give me about 3 noodles per layer. These are pretty wide. And then add the filling. I'm trying to use this sparingly, but I definitely want to make sure that there's a decent amount within each layer. The original recipe yielded me, I believe, only 3 layers, and I was trying to get at least 4 or 5 layers within, so that's why I added the extra spinach. But definitely, it's your preference on how much you want to have. And then once the cheese spinach layer is added, then you just add a little marinara on top. And per the recipe, you're supposed to go to the next layer of noodles, but I decided to just add a little extra cheese in between. And now just moving on to the next layer. And then you repeat until you move all the way up to the top of the casserole dish. Now this is the final layer of the lasagna. I'm at the top. Now the recipe indicates to stop with the marinara and spreading that on top, and then prepare to bake by covering with foil and baking at 375 for 45 minutes. But what I guess I forgot that step, because after I placed on the marinara, as you will see, I will start adding cheese. And technically, according to the recipe, you're supposed to add on the cheese after it's cooked for the 45 minutes. But, do what you feel. And this is actually shredded Parmesan, I believe. Yeah, shredded Parmesan that I used. Or it may have been a mix. I can't remember. I am so sorry. It may be an Italian mix. So that had the Parmesan, Asiago, and mozzarella mixed together and gave that a nice covering. And then I topped it off with a little dry parsley or parsley flakes. And again, this is being baked at 375 for 45 minutes. I believe I did lightly cover this with foil so it would not be burned or scorched too much, and then took the foil off. But this is the end result. And looks very good. I definitely liked how that turned out this time. Okay, so now it's time to get a piece because I'm hungry and ready to eat. And this is not as easy to do trying to get around the camera, but I'm doing the best that I can here. So my apologies if that looks a little awkward. But this came out very, very good. And as I stated before, it's delicious. I definitely rate it 10 out of 10. And highly recommend that you try it if you feel like just having something a little different from your normal lasagna recipes. And having a little hard time here because it's still pretty warm, so it's not going to come out like I expected it to. So my apologies in advance for this not too pleasing view of how this is presented on the plate. But again, here it is. Alright, so there it is, guys. Spinach lasagna. The recipe will be linked in the description. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And be on the lookout for more videos, you guys. And thank you so much for watching. I'm about to go eat. Bye.